Bayliss with us. Trevor, your first question. With the pitches slowing down, will we see a change in toss priorities as the tournament progresses? As in opting to bat or bowl?
Well, I think most teams have been, especially here in Dubai, the teams winning have usually been batting first, but I think the wickets have been used now 2 or 3 times, so I think those winning the toss will certainly bat first, I'm sure.
Trevor, the next one is the team missing out on a quality boundary hitter in the middle order?
Look, we've got some good young players that we're trying to get some experience into in the middle order. We're certainly top heavy with batters, and that's where we did. We've done well over the last few years is scoring runs at the top of the order. It's probably a little more difficult batting conditions here in Dubai than say at home in Hyderabad, but certainly. We bought some good young players, and we're trying to give them as much experience. They haven't got the experience that some of the other players in some of the other teams have. But we've only got so many guys in the squad that we're trying as much as possible.
Trevor, a word on Kane Williamson's innings, and would we see him bat further up the order anytime going forward? Number 3. Probably.
Look, there's an argument for that. Obviously, he's a high-quality player. At the moment, he's playing the role for us at number 4, and hopefully bat with some of those young guys in that lower middle order, and use his experience to help them out. He's a very good player. Quite simply, if he bats at number 3, he could make bigger scores. But that's his role at the moment, to bat number 4 for us.
Trevor, the next one, let's talk about the bowling performances. Shahbaz Nadeem came in for the first game, did decently well. Sandeep Sharma had a good day. Can you talk about how, their performances, and what was the chat pre-game specifically with those 2 guys?
With Sandeep, he's probably been a little bit disappointed over the last few games. He's been one of those bowlers that's tried his hardest and hasn't taken too many wickets, so it was pleasing. I think everyone was very happy for him to be, that he bowled so well up front and took those wickets. I thought it was outstanding, those first 3 overs that he bowled. Nadeem coming in is a guy that can bowl in the power play, and we thought with the wicket it was a lot very dry, so that we'd go with an extra spinner for this match.
Trevor, talking about Shahbaz and Nadeem, was he, or probably he could have been an option against Shane Watson at the top? Were you surprised to see Sam Curran walk out to open innings?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously Watson's done pretty well for them over the last few games. Probably a left-right combination at the top of the order. Sam, he's a good striker of the ball. When the ball's coming on, so newer ball coming on a little bit. I don't think we bowled particularly well to him there for a couple of overs. But look, he's a good player, and obviously Watson coming in at number 3. It's not too different to opening the batting.
Trevor, next question: how hard does it get to target the shorter boundary on such a pitch? Have the batters told anything to you about it?
Well, obviously you want to be able to target the shorter boundary, but when the opposition don't give you that opportunity, it is very difficult, and that's probably one area that we've got to do a little bit better from a bowling point of view. Is make the batters hit to the larger side of the ground. And I think you saw late with Bravo, bowling made it very difficult to hit to the short side of the wicket. But that's experience. That's a guy that's been playing top level cricket for 20 years.
Trevor, last question: what are the key takeaways from this game before you get into the next one?
Obviously I thought Nadeem coming in, playing his first game, did pretty well. Sandeep getting his confidence, for going forward. Look, on wickets that are drier, a sort of a shorter, skiddier bowler, can be hard to play as well. So it's good that he's got his confidence. Williamson keeps scoring runs. He's very consistent. And it's not too often that both Bairstow and Warner will miss out. So we expect those guys to make their fair share of runs going forward, and they do that, and we'll put a good score on the board.
Trevor, thank you so much for your time, and all the best for the next game.
No problem. Cheers.
Was the move to promote Sam Curran always on the cards, or did the management decide only after the loss against RCB? Whose call was it?
Well, we've had Sam padded up for pretty much every innings, looking to inject him at a certain time, but wickets have fallen. I indicated, I think last game he was a couple of balls away. So we thought rather than getting clogged up and probably too much batting resource, we'll take one out and be certain about Sam, put him up the front, see how he goes, and put the onus on the batting group rather than sort of hiding and shuffling it. And that really was the main reason. It's born out of we need to do something different because the trends of our losses were becoming too familiar. So we just wanted to get Sam in the game, as training's been great, and just provide a little bit of momentum at the front.
Next one, 167 on the board. Did you ever feel that the team was a few runs short?
Well, it was nice to bat first. And again, being the first time we batted first, we weren't sure how we would go. We're so used to sort of chasing that we were, I'd say, a little bit apprehensive. You always want probably 5 to 10 more, but it's in line with a lot of the scores currently at the moment. The tracks are getting a bit slower and turning. So we thought if we could get Bairstow and sort of Williamson and Warner out reasonably cheaply, we'd have a good score.
The pitches in UAE seem to have slowed down a touch in the recent days. Do you think CSK can capitalize on that aspect with 3 spinners going forward?
Well, we're trying to preempt it. We've obviously got one world-class one overseas-wise, so we've got some challenges around the balance of our squad, which we're trying to work through. We've got a luxury of either too many bowlers or too many batters. So that's not quite right. I'm not sure if we can do too much about that. But in terms of playing the extra spinner today, we felt that was positive going forward, that if the tracks continue to get slower, we've introduced another leg spinner. And we're just trying to find a way to stay in the competition, really. Wins are important, but the method in which we do it, we need still to improve.
Even you had 7 bowlers bowl during this innings. Can you throw some light on the bowling strategy, which seemed quite flexible and adaptable according to the situation?
Yeah, it's fluid. It's just a case we take a batter out, you got to add a bowler. So we're either going to have too many bowlers or too many batters. And MS was comfortable with having the extra bowler, and the extra leg spinner was a positive option. We felt it might slow down. And if there was some turn or there was an opportunity that came up for an extra spin, we'd have one there. As it turned out, he only bowled one over, still a good over, but just having him there was we felt was positive rather than carrying an extra batter down at 8.
What was the thought process of sending Shane Watson at number 3 tonight?
Well, the first decision was made to put Sam in. And when you do that, obviously one of Faf or Watson had to move. And just in terms of experience, Shane's got a lot of it. And maybe just the swinging ball, if we could sort of combat that and then have Shane come in and take the attack to the second half of the power play or later, then he's very well equipped to do that. Faf is very good at going over the top of the field early, whereas Shane's got a more of a power game that suits going into the next phase of the innings. So that was the reasoning behind that.
Let's talk about Sam Curran.
Yeah.
Was the power hit at the top tonight? He feels it at the fielding hotspots and bowls tough overs as well. What do you make of his all-round value for the team?
Oh, very high. And with him and Bravo, we've got a lot of options. We just can't capitalise on it at the moment with the squad that we have in Dubai. But in terms of his contribution so far, it's exceeded, I think, what we wanted. Probably not in his eyes because he's very competitive. And every time he's had a challenge, he's risen to it. He's been desperate to get in and make a difference with the bat. And I think we saw a glimpse today of potentially what he can do for us in the future. So he's a very good addition to us.
Will this sort of combination with 3 spinners and a batsman less be the way forward for CS?
Well, maybe we go to Sharjah next. We've got the likes of Hazelwood and Imran and Mitch and Lungi there as well. So we've got options. We just need to try and make sure we have the right method. We're not going to be perfect. We haven't got the perfect side. So we've just got to find ways to introduce players that will make a difference on the day. Some of it's with good reasoning and gut feel. Others is looking at conditions and continuity. So we've got some good discussions going on within the camp, but it's all to be positive and stay in the competition, and that's all we can really ask as a management group, and the players are responding well.
Even last one for the evening, would you say today's were the closest conditions so far to Chennai?
Well, we were excited when we saw Jadeja turn one. That creates a little bit of uncertainty from a batsman point of view, and if it continues how we think it'll go, then the spinners will come into play. And if that's the case, then our attack has more teeth. We've had to be quite defensive with the team that we're putting out. Aggressive but defensive in what we do. But if the spin starts playing a part, then we're well equipped for that.
Stephen, thank you so much for your time, and all the best for the next one.
Thank you, mate. Thanks. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.